Hey guys, welcome to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. In this series, I feature other people's maps from the Far Cry 5 arcade, and as part of my October Halloween series, which I haven't exactly announced but I definitely am doing so now, I'm going to be releasing 4 videos over the next 2 days, the 30th of the 30th of October and the 31st of October, surrounding Halloween horror style maps. And I do apologize for the background noise. My dog is moving around in the background, although I can't really blame him as right now I'm in Australia and it's not quite summer yet, but it is definitely getting very, very hot here. Every single time I walk outside, it feels like I've entered the Mad Max universe. But with all distractions aside, this is Mist Aftermath. It was created by Ski Walker 8961 and it is on the Xbox One, and this is the first horror themed map that we're going to be looking at in October. Now I actually want to space out these episodes over the last month. However, I ran into some problems. First of all, I couldn't really find too many horror maps, and then about 5 days ago, I found a ton of horror maps. But then my Xbox Live Gold ran out, and obviously you need gold to be able to play the Far Cry 5 arcade. And so unfortunately, I wasn't able to record any gameplay for these maps. And I actually tried to get gold a few days ago off a website called G2A. Now, it does seem like a very reliable website, and I definitely know that it's got lots of followers and a lot of people find it very reliable, but there's also a stack ton of people that don't find it very reliable at all, and I'm definitely one in that latter category, unfortunately. I basically tried to get some codes off them and they declined my card twice, but they charged my card twice, so I'm waiting for a refund, which they said will take up to 28 working days, which is definitely not going to be fun, but I trust that they'll get me back my money either way. So yeah, hopefully that sorts itself out. A bit of a Halloween nightmare I've had there. Another nightmare is that I can't exactly commentate because I haven't made a video in about 3 weeks. But otherwise, now I'm going to be getting into the pros and cons of Mist Aftermath, and I'm going to actually keep these really short. At least that is the plan, as I just want to let the gameplay roll and allow you guys to enjoy and immerse yourselves in these horror maps. So not just for this video, but the 3 videos that I release tomorrow. Basically, I'm just going to let the gameplay do the talking, and because it is a horror map, I definitely want to immerse you guys in the environment and the atmosphere that each creator has created. But especially because these are horror maps and there may be certain jump scares that you might want to experience for yourself, definitely go and play these maps before watching the video if you want to. Otherwise, just keep on watching, and either way, I'm sure you'll be able to immerse yourselves in the map, whether you do decide to play it or watch this video. But hopefully you do both, as of course this community creation series is to showcase the talent of some awesome creators in the Far Cry community, but also to hopefully grow this channel from this small community that we've currently got here to a much bigger, much more loved community. Now, starting off with the pros of this map, and I really love the narrative. You play as this sheriff who are basically trying to find all the survivors in the Whitetail National Park where this map is set, and you encounter a very post-apocalyptic type of environment where all the survivors, or the so-called survivors, have now turned into zombies that want your flesh. A pretty standard apocalyptic storyline, but nonetheless it sets the premise for a very fun and exciting map. Now, something that is extremely prominent throughout the map, and you definitely would have seen it already, it's also the inspiration for the map name, which is Mist, is that there is a lot of fog around the map, or mist as the creator has entitled it to be, And I actually really do enjoy the fog settings and the time of day settings on this map. I definitely think it adds an overlay of eeriness, and it really just creates a sense of tension for the player. Not so much in this first bit. Of course, in this first bit there's a lot of zombies rushing at you, which can be a little bit tense, but certainly when you reach one point of the map when the time of the day changes to a much darker uh, sort of aesthetical type of overlay, you guys will definitely see in the gameplay very soon that it definitely becomes a lot more tense as the mist thickens and you're not really sure what is going to come out of that mist. And because it's not very clear what's in front of you, there may be a bear or a zombie that comes out of basically nowhere to strike at you from like 1 or 2 meters away. So it's definitely a very tense scenario, and I definitely do enjoy it. There is one part of the map though where I do think it's a little bit too dark, and that's after you reach the grapple point past the hotel sequence. Uh, Now, obviously, the people watching this video, you guys might not know what I'm talking about. You will very soon by watching the rest of the gameplay. But for the creator, I definitely would suggest increasing or sort of making the time of day a little bit brighter once you get past that grapple point, because otherwise it's just way too dark to the extraction point. And I had to use the rock faces as a navigational tool because it was so dark that I couldn't really see where I was going. So I basically just ran against the rocks and let the automatic movement when you run against the rock face, guide me to the extraction zone, which is a neat little trick, but it's definitely not something I wanted to do. I really wanted to experience that final sort of area in its full sort of glory, but I couldn't really do that because it was too dark. So definitely increasing the brightness in that final section where the extraction zone is would definitely be worthwhile. And I definitely think increasing the time of day to something that is a lot brighter where the extraction zone is as well would mean that players feel the sense of reward for finishing the map. As they end up at the train, maybe you could put a smoke coming out of the train driver's carriage to make it look a little bit more authentic, as if this is your actual getaway, rather than just a train that is lying there on the tracks that doesn't look like it's going to be moving anytime soon. Just adding a sense of reward to the player for finishing what is a very difficult and long map to finish. I mean, I wouldn't say it's that difficult, but just in terms of the length, you can't really move too fast in this map because otherwise you're definitely going to get lost. As you guys can see in the gameplay right now, it is extremely dark, but it's not that dark that you can't see where to go. And a really great measure the creator has put in are the flares on the ground, which act as waypoints guiding you to your next destinations. And I really like those waypoints, those flares, because they provide almost like a sense of relief for the player, so they're not totally blinded by the darkness, I suppose you could say. Finally, I really like how this map is set out. It's actually a linear journey map. However, you do feel like to an extent it is open world because the mist kind of deceives you as the player and makes you think that there's multiple pathways when in reality you're always going to end up at the same final destination, or rather, whichever pathway you do end up taking, you're still going to get to the same mission objective, which is the hotel sequence. And that hotel sequence is really fun. It's very tense, but it basically tasks you with trying to destroy one of the zombie spawning capsules whilst all these zombies are rushing at you in a very confined urbanized space. So I definitely like the variety of gameplay in this map, not just the hotel sequence, but the variety of enemies around the map that are trying to stop you from reaching your goal. But at the same time, there's plenty of pickups throughout the map that do provide you with the ability to balance out the gameplay so that the enemies, such as the zombies, the aliens, the bears, whatever it is that there is enough sort of resources for you to use on this map that can get you through it and sort of curb those challenges so that you can have a great time, but also a time that is going to be very tense. And that's what I really like about this map. It really strikes the balance between a difficult sort of challenge, but also something that is very achievable if you play your cards right. And I definitely think this is how a lot of horror games are set out. They give you just enough to succeed, but not over the top that it's just going to be a walk in the park. So props to Ski Walker for figuring out this balance. But otherwise, that wraps up another Community Creations episode here on the Braddels Gaming YouTube channel, with Mist Aftermath, a tense horror journey map created by Ski Walker 8961 on the Xbox One, as the focus for this episode. As with all my other Community Creations episodes, there's still the rest of the gameplay to watch if you're keen, and I highly recommend you stick around until at least the hotel sequence, where things get extremely tense and action-packed. Skip to 17 minutes on the video if you just want to get straight onto there. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, and subscribe and hit the bell icon for future channel notifications. Especially so, given the Halloween triple header of videos I've got releasing tomorrow. Also, don't forget to give this map some love if you're on the Xbox One, but otherwise comment your thoughts on this map below, and support this video to let the creator know you liked it. But as always, I'm Braddels Gaming. I'm signing out now, and remember to have yourselves a great day.